Chad, Mumblebone's been at the forefront of creating change in the merino industry. What are you concentrating on at the moment?
Oh, there's always something, Ben. Change is a constant, so we need to be well aware that it will keep coming at us. We've made a lot of selection decisions around increasing lamb survival. We wanted to move away from mulesing, and we've done that genetically. We needed to accentuate the traits that make the merino a truly easy care animal, all of which is aimed at driving the profitability for our clients. So you need to stay on top of change. There's just some areas that we've made some massive change in, and that'll continue.
So how are you using data to achieve this?
Oh, data underpins every decision. As you well know, we've been working together for quite a while now. We're up to about 30 breeding values that we look at when we make our final decision. So there's some new indexes that have come on board that are really quite good at driving the efficiency of that selection decision, one from NextGen and one from the sheep genetics database. Sustainable merino, high rainfall index is quite well aligned with our direction, but the NextGen index has been specifically tailored to our direction across 30 traits to give us a figure that identifies all the high indexing animals to look at more closely. We then can simply draft through and find the ones that have the strengths exactly where we need it to keep those the size and breed on from those, but it's a wonderful tool to really simplify this quite complex breeding system we've now evolved. In terms of the Sustainable Merino High Rainfall Index, the new one developed by Sheep Genetics, there's 280 of the 400 rams in the sale this year that are in the top 20% of the industry for that index, which is a pretty wonderful step, I think.
So how do the 400 catalogue rams go in some of the individual traits?
Oh, very well. Growth's one of the traits we pride ourselves on, and of the 400 there's 219 in the top 20% of the industry. Muscle's another big one in our program, and there's 224 of the 400 that are in the top 20% of the industry. There's some really powerful traits there coming through in big numbers.
So tell me about the index that you're developing with NextGen and how that's helping you.
Because we're measuring so many breeding values now and wanting to look at so many figures when we make our final decisions, we need an efficient way to sort through those figures, and the NextGen index has been specifically tailored to this breeding program to help us identify very quickly the top performing animals. So then it's a simple matter of looking through those high performing animals to make sure that the feet are right and the walls are square and the strength in their breeding value mix is where we want it. And the faster we move, the more profitable we become, and the further in front of our competitors in a sense. Even if the competitor is profitability itself, the further in front we can stay.
How do this year's rams fit with this index?
Well, the index is a very accurate map of the direction we want to head, so not surprisingly there's a lot of animals that index very well. So to put some figures towards that, we have 377 of the 400 rams this year that fit inside the top 20% of the NextGen index. So we are way down that path, a path that we think is really leading the industry in a direction it needs to go in terms of high performance, high production, easy care, driving profitability at every turn, and great depth of animals to help people achieve those results.
Chad, recently you spoke at the open day about the importance that you place on maternal selection in your studs.
It's so important. Sorry to jump in, but it is so important. The maternal power, it just underpins a stud's performance. So we can now track these ewes that are having repeat singles and moving them on, ewes having repeat twins and selecting more closely for them into the stud. But this maternal power, it almost comes along for a ride with the rams. When people are taking rams home, they're taking with them this maternal power.
To continue on from that, Chad, one of your favourites and my favourites have been these rams out of lambs for the last couple of years. This year, it's the best drop ever.
I reckon. Seeing these maternal young ewes raising their lambs and seeing the lambs come on, they're a step behind others that are born from mature ewes, and that's environmental, not genetic. The genetics they're passing on is superior in a lot of cases to some of their older, heavier siblings. The genetic performance of these rams out of lambs is taking us to another level, and we've never seen it jump like it has this year. The autumn rams looked great this year. It was a tough autumn to lamb in last year. It was too wet. It wasn't great for them, but they got off to a reasonable start, and they've really exploded in the last few months. So they look terrific. There's more of them in the sale this year than last year. And yeah, very happy with how they've come up.
And it's a fantastic lineup of spring lambs across the board.
The spring lambs, they've probably got the real pick of the data this year. We've got a probably slightly higher quality group of ewes that breed the springs, joined to the top end size, and I think that's really reflected in the data that's coming through in the springs. Again, it's been a tough year this year, the autumn that's led up to this filming period, but the data's just through the roof, and these rams will shine up and look magnificent on sale day.
We're going to the crop, we're filming every ram again, an arduous task.
Yeah.
And photographing the fleeces, and everything will be available in Auctions Plus.
It certainly will, just as it was last year. I think that's pretty well received. A lot of people are working the system quite well to have a couple of screens going if they're bidding online, but using this information of the photograph of the wool and the data and the ram walking around on the screen to make decisions, buying decisions without having to be at the sale. Ideally, they'd probably take the opportunity to come to the 12 Mile and get their hands on the sheep. But if needs be, if they're comfortable with the breeding program, they can make all of these decisions online. So it's a great place to be.
Well, mate, credit to you as always, and the family and the team, and best of luck.
Thanks, Benny. It's a great team. It's a great lineup. Looking forward to it. Yeah, the tips over there. There's a few dead pigs in it.
Did you get that?
Yeah, I thought it was you. So Chad, tell me about the rams.
Yeah. What do you want to know, baby?
Tell me about the rams.